Hey, what's up? It's your host, Omi Khatib, and this is...
The podcast so far!
Welcome to the show.
We have a great episode lined up today. We'll be talking about the students' latest news, including latest albums and new songs, and also rumors. This week's guests are Brampton, Ontario's one and only Fighting Season, and I got to catch up with them and discuss their most recent EP, Here's to Starting Over. It's going to be a great one. We're going to start out with something like Pacific anyway. This song's called Retail Hell. It's off their sophomore EP, Homebound, and it is a beauty, as are the members of that band. I love you, Chris. Anyways, enjoy. Welcome back to the podcast so far. It's your host, pop punk brother, Omi Khatib, and I need to stop talking in this accent. Okay, yeah, that was horrible. So that was Like Pacific with their song Retail Hell featuring Brendan Murphy of Counterparts. Do me a favor and please check them out. They're a great band and great dudes. Search them up on Bandcamp, Facebook, Twitter, all that social media jazz, and you will find them. Support them if you can. Support them or else I will find you. Just do it, listen to them, and you will not regret it. So moving on to the latest news in the pop punk world, this one's exciting. Transit are going to be releasing a new acoustic EP, which I am so stoked about. It's going to be called Futures and Sutures. It's going to be out on December 2nd via Rise Records. In my opinion, this year's been pretty tough for Transit. They released Young New England, which obviously they worked so hard on, as you can tell if you listen to it, and they obviously loved it so very much. But unfortunately, lots of their fans seem to disagree and nonchalantly have voiced their opinions, saying that it was a horrible album. However, screw what they say, I completely disagree. Me and a lot of other longtime fans agree that it was one of their best albums to date. Yeah, I mean, change in sound is good, especially for Transit. Transit pulled it off perfectly. A lot of bands didn't. Like, no offense, but Green Day didn't pull off their just change in sound. Lots of other bands didn't. but Transit pulled it off, and Young New England was a great record. After seeing the reaction from the announcement, I only see good things coming out of it. I mean, this is just what Transit needed. When they released Something Left Behind in 2011, that was accepted with open arms. I mean, both new and old fans. So yeah, I mean, I don't see where this could go wrong at all. So Futures and Sutures is going to be acoustic songs reworked from Listen and Forgive and Young New England, and the thought of that makes me shiver, makes me stoked, and I cannot wait for December 2nd. To support their EP, they're going to go on an acoustic basement tour this January and February. Please make a show near you. It's going to be so worth it. I know I'm definitely going to go. I don't care if I'm broke after it. I'm going to go. You do it too. Let's all do it. Let's show Transit they are one of the best bands in the scene right now. And I don't care what you say, because it's my show, and I get to say what I want to say. I don't care what you say, because it's my show. Do it, say it one more time? No. Okay? Yeah. 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 So moving on to Los Angeles, a concert goer was injured this past Thursday at the Hollywood Palladium during a Blink-182 concert, CBS reports. The person fell from the balcony of the auditorium to the lower level, a distance of perhaps 20 feet, says CBS. Emergency crews obviously responded to the venue on the 6200 block of Sunset Boulevard at 10:30 p.m., officials said. There is no word on the extent of injuries suffered by the victim, who was taken by a hospital by paramedics. Here's my stance on this. When you, obviously someone falls off a balcony, because no one pushed him, he was probably just overexcited. I mean, if you're seeing Blink-182, you'd probably be so excited to be jumping up and down. And this is why I'm totally against seat tickets for a band like Blink-182. I mean, if you're a parent, if you're someone who doesn't like being in the pit, I understand, but getting a balcony seat right by the ledge is a bad idea, because you will, if you get too excited, unfortunately, something bad might happen. This is exactly why when I go to a game, a hockey game, basketball game, whatever, any sports game, a show, a concert, I would never get balcony seats, because I'm the type of person that gets excited, and I would probably purposely jump off the balcony and then get back up and then jump again. But that's aside from the point. I don't think it's a smart idea for balcony seat tickets for a Blink-182 concert. I mean, hopefully everything's fine. We don't know if it's male or female, but hopefully he or she's okay, and hopefully the venue will look into this problem. I mean, it's not the first time someone's fallen off of the balcony, a number of times at other games. So hopefully venues start to look into this, and stadiums start to look into this, because it's a serious issue. I've had balcony seats once, and I was scared to even stand up, because I'm just scared of falling off the balcony. So yeah, there have been no official statements from Blink-182 yet, or Mark Hoppus, or Tom, or Travis, which I find pretty weird, but hopefully it'll happen soon, and wish all the best. Hopefully the guy who fell is fine, and yeah. So, let's get back to the music, bod. I'm gonna bump a track by a band called Coldfront from the 905. It's called Withdrawal from their self-titled EP. Here you go, bod.
Overshadowed by discipline.
Suppy. Yo, I really wish I had one of those radio voices, like, welcome back to the podcast so far. I can't pull that off at all. Yeah, I sound like an idiot, and I regret doing that now. So that was Coldfront from Burlington, Ontario. They're probably one of my favorite bands from the scene right now. I mean, Ontario pop punk is at its prime right now. We have so many great bands like CUA, Like Pacific, We Were Shugs, Riddell, Living with Lions, not from Ontario, but still Canadian. July, Courage My Love. I mean, I consider them pop punk, and they're great. I can't think of more right now, but I know there's more. I'd have to go through my iTunes, but whatever. I mean, main point is that Ontario pop punk is at its prime right now. And later in my interview with Fighting Season, we're going to discuss that. Oh yeah, Fighting Season are another great band. I can't believe I forgot them. I mean, I love you, Evan. I'm sorry. But yeah, it's great. Check out Coldfront, support them. I mean, every band in the scene deserves your support. Please check it out. So usually in this part of the podcast, there would be questions that I'd be answering and voicing my opinion on, or talking about other people's opinions. But since this is our first episode, we can't really do that right now. So what would help is you guys sending me questions to whoever's listening out there. If you're not bored by now, hopefully you're not. You can message me, anything, contact me via Facebook, text me. No one texts me, so I really want you guys to text me. But yeah, just send me questions. Be as controversial as possible, because I love being controversial. Please do it. And yeah, it can only help, and it would be interesting to see different opinions. I mean, I'm definitely open to other opinions. I'm not closed-minded like a lot of people are, but yeah. And that brings us to my interview with Fighting Season. It was a privilege to talk to those guys. Here's the Starting Over is probably in my top 5 releases for this year. Came out last April or May. It's a beauty. I mean, as a debut EP for a band from Brampton, it was amazing. Kudos to Sam from July for recording them. He did a great job, and those songs are amazing. I could relate to every single one of those words on the album. Matt is a great lyricist, straight to the point, like Soupy, like Kyle from Real Friends. Straight to the point lyrics, basically what is beautiful about pop punk. This album is a great pop punk EP, and I suggest you cop it as soon as you listen to this next song. This song is called Heading West. It's a single off of their EP, Here's the Starting Over, and followed by Heading West is my interview with them. Enjoy.
long time ago. Essentially, when I was 16, so 2 years ago, I wanted to start a pop punk band, and I had met some guys, and we started a band that ended up being the original kind of like Fighting Season. With those members, it didn't end up working out, and for about a year and a half, Fighting Season was completely inactive. And then one day, I was just like on Kijiji, and I was looking at wanted ads for bands and stuff like that, and I found this ad of these dudes looking for a band, and they had mentioned like they're influenced by a bunch of bands that I really liked and stuff like that. And when I messaged them, I got in contact with Evan. After I got in contact with Evan, I was originally going to go jam with them to play bass, but as it ended up turning out, I messaged him. I said, you know what, like I can play bass, but like I'm kind of like a singer. Like I don't know if that's cool with you guys, but I wouldn't mind auditioning for vocals. And they said that their guitar player, their vocalist actually plays guitar. And I said, like, you know, if he wants to play guitar, I'd be down to sing. And then they were kind of down for that. And then the next week I was in Brampton and we started jamming. And next thing we knew, it was that's how the band kind of came to be.
Start to put a name for yourselves around Ontario. I know that for sure.
Yeah, because basically Glenn was going to sing, I was going to be like guitar, and Justin obviously on drums. Of course, after we messaged Matt and he said he wanted to be vocals, Glenn said he pushed me and him to be guitars, and then I contacted my buddy Jared, who was in the old day with us as well, and he said that he wanted to play bass. So he came in, and then eventually me and him swapped instruments.
Because Evan sucks at guitar.
Basically, I'm just the worst. And
I know that feel. I know where you're coming from.
And now the lineup we have now is, you know, what Fighting Season is. Funny story with that. Before we messaged Matt, this one guy messaged me, and I was at work, and he was like this 45-year-old dude who thought we were like some cover band, and he wanted to play with us so badly.
Oh my god.
And so I told him, like, dude, we're like 19. He's like, oh. Okay, never mind.
So your name's Fighting Season. Please tell me there's a hockey reference behind that. Please.
Not at all.
Oh, man.
Not even a little bit. Fighting Season, weird kind of like story behind the name. I was watching television like absurdly early in the morning, like 5:50 in the morning, like in August, and like the name Fighting Season came to be because I was watching TV, and on one channel it was like Discovery was like one of the channels I was watching for some reason, and it was like a hunting season. I forget what animal it was. It was like duck season or something like that. And I switched the channel down, and the next one was like it was like a lingerie like modeling show. You know what I mean? And this was so early in the morning, and it was like this Brazilian lingerie modeling show. And I remember the guy was like, the ladies are ferocious on stage. It's like they're fighting with everything they have. And then I was like, oh shit, Fighting Season. And like it just kind of came to be like that. Like it was just so weird how like it was ironic. It was just literally the ironic timing of the TV.
So you guys released your debut EP, Here's to Starting Over, in May. So why don't you tell us the process and how recording with Sam from July went?
After we started the band, we kind of like, we really wanted to make sure with this band that we were gonna do everything, like all the decisions we were gonna make were gonna be kind of like good for the band, and we took a while to kind of like plan out what we wanted to do before we even started actually writing any music. And once we kind of had our plan in place, we decided, like, we sat down and we started jamming some ideas, and essentially what happened with like writing and stuff like that was myself and Glenn would sit down just with like 2 acoustic guitars and work on some songs and stuff like that, and eventually we kind of had like a bunch of ideas down, and we booked the time with Sam, and right before we recorded, actually, we hadn't finished the EP, and we were recording like literally within 10 days, and the next week we were all super busy we had like 2 secret shows before we recorded, and we were really like super busy with school and stuff. Oh, yeah. And so literally like I remember we were recording on the Monday, and not the Thursday before. I sat down in my basement, and I was like, I gotta write one song. We gotta write one really quick song, and that song ended up being Heading West. So within literally, like, we wrote like the basic instrumentals for that song within like 2 hours maybe. I went home and I wrote the vocals, and we just jammed it like crazy just to make sure we had it down. And then we started recording with Sam on I think it was March 18th or 19th, and working with Sam was awesome. Like, Sam was a really good guy. Like, he knew what we wanted to do. Like, he knew how to capture what we were looking for, and like, he was just like a general like pleasure to work with. He had a lot of really good ideas. When we went in there, we did 4 days in the studio, and just got everything down. Like, it was a lot. We were worried that like we weren't going to be as tight as we wanted to be in the studio. We went in there and everything really kind of came into place, and it was a really good vibe. Like, we were really vibing with Sam, and he seemed to be actually having a good time and stuff like that, which was cool. And ironically, Heading West, like, it was the last song we wrote for the EP, and then it ended up being the single. And it was just like a really awesome time. Like, probably my favorite time this year was spending that week in the studio. So
it was a really fun week. You know, Sam's obviously a really good dude, and
I've only heard good things about him.
Yeah, he really knows his stuff for recording. And on the very first day, we were late to recording, and we had to track all the drums and all the bass in one day. And Justin went through every single song in like one take, and he was just blown away.
So, like, obviously, right now, Canadian pop punk I think it's at its prime in the past 10 years.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, like, we have Seaway, like Pacific, Coldfront, July, We Were Sharks, Living with Lions, and obviously you guys. So, like, where do you guys think you stand in all of it? Like, where do you think you guys put your mark in it?
It's a weird thing, because like, I feel like there's this definite like, there's like this. And the way I see it, there's like this kind of like separation between the bands that have really established themselves and the bands that are just starting up. And I feel like we're kind of in like a period of transition. Going from a band that, like, you know, no one knew who we were. Like, when we started, obviously no one knew who we were. Like, just our friends. Like, we had a lot of my friends in Hamilton that knew who we were, and like all their like the buddies, we have our buddies in Brampton, like, knew who we were just because we were friends. And I feel like we've played like a large amount of shows. Like, that was one thing we really wanted to do, is play a lot of shows, because like that gets you out there, like that gets your name in different places and stuff like that. And doing so, I feel like we kind of established a little bit of a name for ourselves, in the sense where, like, I think like other bands know who we are, and I guess that's a pretty big step right there, having other bands kind of notice you. And we kind of like became friends with these bands that I feel like have established themselves really well in big markets like Toronto and stuff like that, you know. Like the dudes in like Pacific are really nice guys, and the dudes in Coldfront and July, and like, you know, we've had the opportunity like to play with Seaway like a whole bunch of times, and stuff going on in Ontario, especially pop punk. Like, pop punk's doing really, really well right now, and it's really cool that like as that's growing, we're kind of in it with all these other bands that are also growing. You know what I mean? And
it can only take you so far. I mean, if the scene's growing now and you guys are a new band, people are going to be looking for new bands. Yeah, exactly. Right?
Yeah, and I think that you know, we're kind of in this transition period in between being like a band that no one knows and cares about to a band that people kind of know. I mean, no one really gives a shit still, but like it's like people at least maybe kind of know us. You know what I mean?
Like, you put out your name there. I mean, you guys have your name, and now whenever there's a show in the Ontario area, but that's fighting season.
Yeah, and that's what we're just like hoping towards. Like that, like it's not even like. I feel like maybe we haven't established a name outside of the pop punk scene, but I feel like within the pop punk kind of like within this like the whole like pop punk scene in Ontario. I feel like maybe there's a small place for us now, which is really cool because like that's all we want. We want that we were like opening up for big bands or playing shows in their cities and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys opened for Man Overboard and Real Friends at the Casbah?
Yeah.
Just like was it in September?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to cry every day because I missed that show because I had work. So how was it? Like how was it opening for like I don't know, like are they your favorite bands? Like some of your favorite bands?
It's a couple of mine at least. I know I can really dig Real Friends, and Man Overboard I have to be in a certain mood to really listen to, but they're still they're still they're one of the kingpins of the scene. Yeah. And it was different because when we got to the venue there was like a lineup outside. It's like all these girls in like Defend Pop Punk t-shirts and stuff. So it was,
and then pizza and posy jumps.
Basically. It was different to look at because no one normally get the show, so there's no lineup or anything, right?
Yeah.
So of course,
did that make you nervous?
No, I'm actually maybe more excited.
Holy shit!
At first I used to get nervous, but now I just can't wait to get on stage. And
I know I'd throw up if I saw anyone lining up to see me. Like,
I
was like, why do you want to see me?
Well, we feel like they weren't exactly coming to see. Like it was different because these people normally don't go out to local shows. Yeah. I noticed that because people were coming up to us after saying like they wish that they had come out to shows around the area sooner, or that they didn't even know that we had a scene. Like it's people who only came out to just see these bands that they always saw on Tumblr or something. But, it was a cool experience with the fact that we were playing the new people, and it was probably a good show in the fact that we probably got a lot of fans from that. Yeah, so of course we ended up just sitting in their van, and we were just all chilling, and eventually, at the time we realized we had to go on stage, and we were all still sitting in their van. So we said, you know what, just give us 5 minutes and we'll come in and watch you guys. So that was actually probably one of the coolest things at the show. I looked up from my base, and I just saw all the dudes at the bar just watching us play, and it was, really cool.
I kind of actually disagree with something Evan said a little bit, because Evan said about not really lining up and stuff like that. It's cool for us, I guess, in a way, because Hamilton has always been a really good. I'm from Hamilton, right? And I'm the only one in the band from Hamilton. But Hamilton's always been I don't know, for us it's really we've always had a lot of support. I think the fact that I'm in high school kind of helps a lot, because it's
for sure.
If it's we when we played that show, I expected some people there, but there was actually a pretty big lineup outside of that for that show, which was cool. But it was a lot of our friends, and that was awesome. It was just a huge party with a lot of our friends, and it was really cool that the next show we played in Hamilton was another big show, another
So that takes us to the question: what's your favorite part of being in fighting season or a band in general?
I think one of the coolest things is it was at our Hamilton show with Safe and Sound at the Absinthe, and basically one of our good friends came up to us, and he said that our music really helped him get through tough times. You join a band and you hope that can happen, but you don't really expect it to.
Yeah, and then, it's the last thing you
and then you get people coming up to you, or even through Twitter and stuff. I've gotten some people message me, and they're saying our music has really helped them get through a tough time, and that's really cool.
It's a cool feeling, right? I mean, I haven't experienced it, but that must be
It's definitely cool for Matt, because he's the one who writes the lyrics.
Yeah, Matt.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I don't know. I think one of my favorite parts of being in a band is the fact that, I mean, obviously helping other people is cool, but the fact that it helps me. When we wrote the CP, I was going through a pretty weird transitional time in my life, and I just got out of a 3-year relationship, and I was going through I was in grade 12. I was really trying to find myself, trying to figure out what I wanted to do and if I wanted to go to school and stuff like that when we started this band. And as we started writing lyrics, we started writing the songs, and as I was sitting in my basement writing the songs and jamming them and writing lyrics, there's kind of this common theme I kind of found in my life of perseverance, and that was a big thing in the CP, and it really helped me get through this weird time in my life where like I just really had to kind of like be strong and stuff, you know, and and like that, like, I don't know, it was just like, it's one of those things where like obviously helping other people is cool, but one of my favorite parts is the fact that it helps me and I can get my, you know, my anger and frustration and sadness
you can vent all that
into a positive kind of way, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it shows in your EP. Like when I was listening to it, it's like there's one theme and it's like you're venting your emotion into it.
And I think
instead of venting it at someone's face, you can just do it through your music.
And like that's the thing is like what I really want to do with the CP lyrically, like some people I know find the lyrics kind of cheesy. Some people think, oh, it's like just pop punk lyrics, but like to me it was just honest. You know what I mean? That honesty is like the biggest thing I have with my lyrics. I don't care how cheesy it is. I don't care how people are here and how they react to it. It's not about anyone else but myself, you know what I mean? And it's really cool that like I've had like people come up to me and be like, man, I get it, like don't stop writing music, I'm going through this too, like you've helped me so much. And like that's like the craziest feeling for me, because like I feel like when there was a time in my life where like I had nothing but music, and like music was the only thing that was there for me, and it's so cool to have that people come up to me and be like, man, right now I'm going through such a shitty time and your music helps me, and like that's crazy because like this music helped me, and like it's awesome to be able to connect to people like that. And like that's probably my favorite part of being in a band is like being able to do that and be able to connect with other people. And you know, because of this I feel like I met so many awesome people, and I feel like I've connected with so many people, whether on an emotional way because they related to the lyrics, or just because they dug the music. And that's my favorite part of being in the band, is the fact that it's really brought me closer with so many people that I maybe had heard of or had no idea who they were at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Like adding on to what he said, like the community that we've been able to be gotten into with all these, like I started going to these shows, and you know, like I'd be watching like Pacific or July, like I'd be watching these guys, and next thing you know, like we're friends with them. And it's like one of those really cool things where like they dig our music, and I've met some really cool people coming out to our shows. You know, I got a lot of new friends who really dig our music. You know, it's just one of those things that it's really cool, and I wouldn't give it up for anything.
Yeah, it must be an awesome feeling. I mean, when you're in a band and you're playing in this scene, and then you hang out with the other bands and the fans. Yeah, it must be a nice feeling.
For sure. Definitely. Like, I feel like being in this band has brought me like so many new friendships with people, and has brought me closer with a lot of the people, because I had obviously like when there's bands that are big in like your scene and big in like, you know, in a general thing, like you kind of know who the members are, like they kind of have like familiar faces and stuff like that, and it's crazy going from like, you know, 2 years just seeing bands like Pacific on Facebook and Seaway and well, maybe not Seaway, they've been around for that long, but just seeing these bands and be like, oh, I know who those guys are, like at shows and stuff like that, but never talking to them. They were just in bands, and then
they were just the band people.
Going from that to now, like, you know, actually having relationships with people, like talking to them and getting like being buddies with them just because you're in a band. And also the cool thing is too is that, you know, people that have reached out to us have been like, wow, I love your band, like trying to get to know us because like they want to meet us, they like the band and stuff like that. And it's a cool thing. Like I know it sounds weird that like the band is bringing us friendships and stuff like that, but it's a really cool thing.
It's not weird at all, to be honest. Like I know when I see a band like Pacific or Seaway or whoever it is, I want to be friends with them, because if you're, like, in my case, if you're a loser in high school and you don't have any friends, and then when you go to a show where it's the only place you feel you belong, you kind of feel like, I want to be friends with those guys, not the losers in my high school, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
I think that's probably my favorite part of being in a band is connecting with so many people and stuff, and being able to vent my emotions and shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and get friends out of it. You can vent your emotions. You get to hang out with Men Overboard and do them a favor, and you get all that just with your band.
Yeah, for sure.
That must be
and like
awesome.
even like our band together, like we've gelled and we've gotten closer. When we first started out, like obviously I'd only known Glenn for a couple months with the other band. I'd known Justin for like 2-3 years before, and then of course now like we've been together for almost, I think, about a year.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, we
awesome.
started writing music about a year ago. Yeah.
And
that's the most important thing.
You know, from practicing in shows, we've had our ups and downs as a band. Like we've gone through some, you know, fights or some disagreements or whatever, but you know, we're able to get past it, and our friendships grow stronger with it.
And there you have it. That was my interview with Fighting Season. It was so much fun. A lot of stuff we had to cut out because it wasn't that appropriate. Kudos to you guys for doing Man Overboard a favor, though. That was an interesting story. So yeah, that concludes today's episode. But before I sign off. This is gonna be a tradition every week. We're gonna have an album of the week, song of the week, and a riff of the week. So let's start off with album of the week. Take a guess. As all of you know, I like to kiss UA's ass so much. So obviously the album of the week this week is going to be Hoser by Seaway. I was so stoked when they released that. Listening to that album probably made my year. It is my favorite release of 2013, probably in the last 5 years. It is probably one of my favorite albums ever, and I love that band so much. Yeah, my favorite song off that is Keep Your Stick on the Ice. It's a beautiful song. I can relate to it. Also, hockey reference in the name, and I love hockey because I'm Canadian. Woo, go Canucks. And yeah, kudos to Sue, much love. Song of the day, it's not pop punk, but it is by a quote-unquote pop punk band. It's Untitled by Like Pacific. Is one of my favorite songs ever. Pretty hardcore, because it is hardcore. I'll play it now, just so you guys can hear it. Enjoy. It's pretty short, as all hardcore songs are. Enjoy. Like Pacific with Untitled. They should call that minor two-step or crowd kill for life. Anyways, that's just my opinion. So that concludes today's episode. Thank you for tuning in. It's my first podcast ever. First time working with recording anything at all. Well, that's not true, but recording a podcast. Don't forget to send me questions. Don't forget to give me constructive criticism to see where I can go better. Yeah, have a great week and see you soon. Bye.
There's a sign down in Oak Beach where we carved our initials. I X'd them out the other day.